The Six-Day War, fought in June 1967, was a short but incredibly significant conflict. It reshaped the political map of the Middle East and had lasting consequences for the region. This war pitted Israel against its Arab neighbors, Egypt, Syria, and Jordan. In just 6 days, Israel achieved a decisive military victory. The war's impact continues to resonate today. It intensified the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and fueled ongoing tensions in the region. Understanding the Six-Day War is crucial for comprehending the complexities of the Middle East. It is a story of conflict, victory, and the enduring search for peace. The war's legacy is one of both triumph and tragedy. It left Israel in control of territories it continues to occupy today. At the same time, it deepened the Palestinian refugee crisis and sowed the seeds for future conflicts. The Six-Day War serves as a stark reminder of the human cost of conflict and the elusive nature of peace. To understand the Six-Day War, we must look back to the events of 1948. That year witnessed the birth of Israel and the first Arab-Israeli war. The conflict resulted in Israel's victory and the displacement of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians. This displacement created a Palestinian refugee crisis. Many Palestinians ended up in refugee camps in neighboring Arab countries. These camps became breeding grounds for resentment and fueled a desire for revenge against Israel. The 1948 war also left the region deeply divided. Arab nations refused to recognize Israel's right to exist. This lack of recognition, coupled with the refugee crisis, created a volatile situation. The stage was set for future conflicts, including the Six-Day War. The years leading up to the Six-Day War were marked by escalating tensions. Border clashes between Israel and its Arab neighbors became increasingly common. In 1964, the Palestine Liberation Organization, or PLO, was formed. The PLO's goal was the destruction of Israel, further raising anxieties. The Suez Crisis of 1956 also played a role. This crisis saw Israel, Britain, and France attack Egypt. Although Israel gained control of the Sinai Peninsula, it was forced to withdraw under international pressure. This withdrawal fueled resentment in Israel and contributed to the feeling of being under constant threat. Adding to the tensions were disputes over water resources. Israel's National Water Carrier Project, designed to divert water from the Jordan River, sparked outrage in Arab states. They saw it as an act of aggression and a threat to their own water security. The combination of these factors created a tinderbox in the Middle East. The Six-Day War cannot be fully understood without considering the Cold War. The rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union cast a long shadow over the Middle East. Both superpowers sought to extend their influence in the region, often by supporting opposing sides in regional conflicts. The Soviet Union armed and supported Egypt and Syria. These countries became client states of the Soviet bloc. The United States, on the other hand, was a staunch ally of Israel. This superpower rivalry fueled the arms race in the Middle East and exacerbated existing tensions. The Cold War also influenced the decision-making of regional actors. Egypt's Gamal Abdel Nasser, a charismatic leader who had come to power in 1952, skillfully played the superpowers against each other. He sought to strengthen Egypt's position and portray himself as a leader of the Arab world. These Cold War dynamics created a complex web of alliances and rivalries that contributed to the outbreak of the Six-Day War. Section 5. Day 1. A preemptive strike. By June 1967, the situation in the Middle East had reached a boiling point. False reports of an imminent Israeli attack on Syria, fueled by Soviet misinformation, further escalated tensions. Egypt expelled UN peacekeepers from the Sinai Peninsula and closed the Straits of Tiran to Israeli shipping, effectively imposing a blockade. Facing what it perceived as an existential threat, Israel launched a preemptive airstrike on Egypt on the morning of June 5, 1967. This surprise attack, known as Operation Focus, crippled the Egyptian Air Force while it was still on the ground. The attack marked the beginning of the Six-Day War. It caught Egypt and its allies off guard and gave Israel a crucial early advantage. The element of surprise proved to be a decisive factor in the war's outcome. Section 6. Days 2 and 3. Conquering the Sinai. With air superiority established, the Israeli Defense Forces, or IDF, launched a ground offensive into the Sinai Peninsula. The IDF, outnumbered but highly motivated, employed innovative tactics and outmaneuvered the Egyptian forces. The battles in the Sinai were fierce, but the IDF made steady progress. One key battle took place at Mitla Pass, a strategic choke point. Despite heavy fighting, Israeli forces broke through Egyptian defenses and advanced deep into the Sinai. By the end of the third day of fighting, the IDF had captured the entire Sinai Peninsula, pushing Egyptian forces back across the Suez Canal. The speed and decisiveness of the Israeli victory in the Sinai shocked the world. Section 7. Days 4 and 5. Victory in Jerusalem and the West Bank. With the Sinai secured, Israel turned its attention to other fronts. On the fourth day of the war, fighting erupted in Jerusalem, a city sacred to both Jews and Muslims. Israeli forces captured East Jerusalem, which had been under Jordanian control since 1948. The battle for Jerusalem was emotionally charged. It involved intense street fighting and heavy casualties on both sides. The capture of the Old City, home to holy sites such as the Western Wall and the Dome of the Rock, was a significant victory for Israel. Simultaneously, the IDF launched an offensive in the West Bank, also under Jordanian control. After heavy fighting, Israeli forces captured key cities such as Hebron, Nablus, and Jericho. By the end of the fifth day, Israel had gained control of the entire West Bank. Section 8. Day 6 and beyond. Ceasefire and consequences. On the sixth day of the war, June 10th, a UN-brokered ceasefire came into effect. The fighting was over. Israel had achieved a stunning victory, capturing the Sinai Peninsula, the Gaza Strip, the West Bank, East Jerusalem, and the Golan Heights from Syria. The war had profound consequences. Israel's territorial gains were vast, more than tripling the size of the country. However, these gains came at a cost. Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians were displaced from their homes in the West Bank and Gaza. The war also had a profound psychological impact on both sides. For Israel, it was a moment of euphoria and national pride. For the Arab world, it was a humiliating defeat that led to soul-searching and recriminations. Section 9. Shifting Sands. The war's impact on the Middle East. The Six-Day War reshaped the political landscape of the Middle East. It shattered the myth of Arab invincibility and solidified Israel's military dominance in the region. The war also had a profound impact on the Palestinian issue. The war led to the occupation of the West Bank and Gaza Strip, territories densely populated by Palestinians. This occupation became a major source of tension and conflict in the years that followed. It also gave rise to the Palestinian Liberation Movement, which gained momentum after the war. The war also had implications for the broader Arab-Israeli conflict. It made peace more elusive, as Israel was now reluctant to relinquish the territories it had captured. The war's legacy continues to cast a long shadow over the region, shaping the political dynamics and fueling ongoing tension. Section 10. Conclusion. A legacy of conflict and complexity. The Six-Day War was a watershed moment in the history of the Middle East. It was a war that lasted just 6 days, but had consequences that continue to reverberate today. The war's legacy is one of both triumph and tragedy, of victory and occupation. The war demonstrated Israel's military prowess and its determination to defend itself against existential threats. However, it also led to the occupation of Palestinian territories, creating a complex and intractable conflict that has defied resolution for over 5 decades. The Six-Day War serves as a reminder of the human cost of conflict and the enduring search for peace in the Middle East. It is a story that continues to unfold, with no easy answers or quick solutions. Understanding the Six-Day War is essential for comprehending the complexities of the region and the challenges that lie ahead.